as we are entering into a new session. Lord, thank you for giving us the opportunities to grasp the previous sessions. Lord, the knowledge that we have imbibed, help us to internalize and to enrich ourselves so that we be blessed and also we can cater the society, the institution, the students, and everyone who is in need of knowledge. Lord, help us to grasp more, help us to understand it in deep, so that, Lord, it will enrich our knowledge and also our research capabilities. Lord, thank you for the new avenues and the new softwares and the new possibilities that you have given to us through the technology. Help us to comprehend it and to make it as a tool for the betterment of the society. We pray for each and everyone who is leading this session. We pray for every member who is participating in it. Lord, be with us and broaden the horizons of our knowledge and wisdom. We ask this prayer in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Go ahead. Thank you very much for the prayers. So Harish, I see around 56 attendees. So should we wait for Professor Simon to join? Then we can start.
Sure, Anand, you can do that.
Sure. So let me then wait for some more time. Meanwhile, let me share my screen as well.
Yeah.
So hello everyone who have joined till now. So, if you have any questions from last week, you can type it in the chat window and we will try to address them during the session as well as during the end of the session. And we are waiting for some more time so that everyone else can join, and we will get started in maybe in 2 minutes from now.
Anand, could you please make Simon sir the panelist?
Yes, Harish, let me do that. So I made you the panelist. Good afternoon, Professor Simon.
Good afternoon, sir. Let us wait for the prayer. Then we can start, sir. Just 1 minute.
So yeah, we had the prayer a while back. Before you joined.
Anand sir, yeah. Coming to the last meeting, we're asking about how to create the app, our own app in MATLAB software, so that we can use it whenever needed. That point you need to include as per the request last time I made. And one more thing, how this MATLAB online facility will be useful for students who are attending class only through smartphones. Okay. That facility, maybe you can spend last 10 minutes on that. After your presentation, you can concentrate on how to make a MATLAB app, how to design MATLAB app, and the MATLAB online facility, how this is useful for students who are attending classes using smartphones. Okay, just add these 2 points at the end, not in the beginning. Maybe you can finish your presentation today. At the end, you can.
Right, so thank you for emphasizing on those 2 points. So I will surely cover it during the presentation as well, both on MATLAB online and how you can use MATLAB mobile as well.
Yes, sir. Have you started the recording, sir? Have you started the recording?
Yes, I think I have started. Yeah, recording is in progress. So I've started the recording.
Sir, please start your presentation, sir.
Right. So we have around 84 attendees as of now. So is it okay to start?
Yes, you can. Okay, because they'll be sending the recording. Actually the regular classes started yesterday. So there some faculty will be busy with classes. So they'll be watching our recording in future. Okay, you can start your session, sir.
Okay, sure. Okay, so let me just get started. Yeah. So today, very good afternoon to everyone who has joined today. So today we will be focusing on 2 aspects. One is how to process data and how to analyze it, and how to visualize it, or you can say how to plot certain data and infer certain points from it. So that's why the title here is data processing and visualization. And during the session or after the session, we would also like to understand from you and where and in what applications and in what courses, whether it's a lab course or a theory course. So how are you using data? How are you analyzing it? So we will also share a feedback form to collect those responses. But any questions around this, you can also feel free to type in the chat window, and we will try to take some questions at the end as well. So today, from our team, Harish and I have joined here, and I hope last week you were able to complete your, or at least start the MATLAB on-ramp thing, which was the post-session activity. So it will actually help you to gain certain basic things in case you are new to the framework. Yeah. So this is the link that I'm sharing once again, though Harish has already mailed you about this. So in case you're still struggling in creating your MathWorks account, you can go through this portal link, and using your institute mail ID, you can create your MathWorks account. So just for a quick response, I just wanted to know a yes or no in the chat window from you. A yes if you have already created your MathWorks account, then you can type a Y. And in case you haven't, you can type an N also. That is also fine. We can help you in making that account as well. So just for our understanding. So let me look at the chat window. Till now, I see 1 no. So, and most of the responses are yes. So just quickly let me open this and show you. So this is the link. I am just, so for those who haven't created the MathWorks account till now, so for them, you can just go over that link and create your account at a later stage, maybe you can just keep the link with you, and you can create your account with your institute mail ID. And in case you face any trouble after that, you can always write a mail to us, and we can help you in sorting that out. Yeah. So till now you must have already known what is the high level overview of this tool. So MATLAB is a very powerful computational tool, especially designed for scientists and engineers, because it is a tool for doing technical computing, a platform to do multiple kinds of computation in various fields, starting from communication to controls to robotics to AI. So it is spread throughout. And why it is used? Because of the various features like the interactive apps it has, and the visualization capability, and also for an end-to-end workflow. So in case there is a system to be made, then to make a particular system, there will be different stages. So this is a tool where you can integrate all the different stages and complete your entire system towards deployment. Also, there are code conversion facilities, which is a very useful feature. Similarly, you have heard of the thing Simulink, and from the earlier feedback I've seen, there are some advanced, very few though, but there are some users who have already used Simulink also, so they must be aware of the power of Simulink. So in industry, it is mainly or very heavily used by automobile and the aerospace sectors for its main capability of model-based design approach. So it is a platform where you can connect different blocks of your system, simulate it, test it in the simulation environment prior to deploying it actually into some specific targeted hardware. Now, today's agenda, so it's 3:20 now. So we will try to cover all of them that I have intended to. So we will spend less time in the slides today, because you have already seen the most of the features in the earlier versions. So we can get started with the demos, and the first demo will be in kind of estimating the stock prices using curve fitting. So how we can go about that. Then we will discuss some more features about live tasks and plotting. And as Professor Simon mentioned, we will also go through the app designer, how students or faculty members can make their custom app for their courses or for their projects. So we will go we will try to cover these three aspects basically. So before going to the demo, I just wanted to show you that this is the Gartner's Magic Quadrant for 2021 in the field of data science and machine learning platforms. And you can see MathWorks is in the leaders quadrant. So there are multiple reasons which are listed below. So it is because the first reason, you can see that it empowers your team, including those with limited AI or data science experience. So it is not that you have to be an expert in AI or data science. So to do problems or to work on applications which involve these, right? So even if you have the application expertise, you must be from various departments, different departments. So if you have your domain knowledge, and if there is any application in your domain which can cater to this data science or AI platform, then you can quickly start using the power of the computational tool with respect to your domain knowledge. So instead of learning a lot of coding background or those things specifically designed, specifically focusing on the algorithms behind this, you can very quickly start it. So that is the primary reason, and the other reasons are also listed, like it helps you to apply the complete workflow for data preparation, AI modeling, system design, and production. So it's an end-to-end workflow that you can design using the tool, and finally you can deploy it. So ultimately, in industries, it is not only doing the computation in the tool; they have to deploy it into some hardware. So what can be that hardware? It can be an embedded device. It can be on an edge device. It can be some enterprise systems, or it can be deployed in some cloud. So because of this deployment feature as well, it is a very useful tool to work with, and it can tackle integration challenges and reduce the risk in designing these AI-driven systems with Simulink. So what do we mean by integration challenges? The integration between different subsystems. So that can be tackled and tested prior to actual creation of that system. So that test environment is created. So this is the reason. And these are the different industries where data analytics is used, like starting from aeronautical to automotive, railways, highways, industrial automation, clean energy, or even in the medical sector. In the right also you can see some more industries related to finance, logistics, healthcare management. Okay, I see a chat that my voice is not audible. Thank you for posting it. Let me just. Am I audible now?
Yes, Anand, you are audible.
Okay. So yeah, audible, sir. Yes. Okay. Thank you. So in case you are not able to hear Micha Prem Kumar, then I think you can try to rejoin or check your audio settings once, because okay, you can hear. Thank you very much. Yeah. So yeah, so these are the different sectors in the industry where they have to analyze data. That's why it falls in the data analytics sector. Now I want to just ask a quick question to you. So the subjects that you are teaching in your classroom, so whether you have to deal with some experiments, or even during your theory classes, whether you have to deal with some kind of data to analyze. So if yes, you can type a Y, and if you want, you can also type for which course. You can just type the course name as well. But in case you are working with data in your courses, you can type a Y as well. Or if you are not working, you can type a N also. So this will give me a background, means whether this session will be useful to you or not. So I see Y. I see some N, two N's. I see one real-time analytics. Y. Okay. So working in real-time analytics. So that is good to hear. I see a mixed response, but there are more Y's compared to N. So in case you have not yet started, so still you can listen to today's talk, and you may think how it can be mapped to your curriculum, because and in case it is not relevant, that is other issue, but there might be some cases where you will need to analyze data, as so many industries in different sectors are using data. So in the from the academia perspective also, so there must be some application or some courses, some subjects or topics where you may need to give experiments which need to analyze some data. So thank you, Dr. Sasi Kumar. You mentioned yes, and you have mentioned about automotive engines. So as you can see, there is this automotive sector, and yes, so this is predictive maintenance applications where the engine has to be monitored. So this is one of the application in the industry as well. Automotive safety, okay, that is another good one. So nice to hear. So yes, so I'm not very very aware of what this exact application is, but I suppose it is somewhere related to safety of the machines. Yeah, I can guess that from the word automotive safety. So you have to maybe keep a check on that machine so that it doesn't burst out or it doesn't get damaged, something like that. I see medical image processing. Yeah, thank you for the for typing this out. So yeah, this is a great sector. So in the medical domain as well as processing image. So to mainly, so there are multiple applications in this sector. So I would like to know more on this, if you can tell which kind of medical image processing. Also, in the next session, we will be talking about image processing with MATLAB. Also, we'll cover that also. Maybe that would also help you there. Accident information of four-wheelers. Okay, automotive testing, vehicle and validation, digital signal processing. Okay, so yeah, so from the chat window itself, I can see, so there is a wide range in the academia sector also. So it is not that data is involved everywhere, and especially in the lab courses where the students have to do experiments. So in our school days also, we have seen we have to make some tables, we have to plot some graphs between X and Y. So all that is related to data. So thank you. So let me now continue with the presentation. So there are a couple of more slides before I go to the demo. So just to understand what we mean by data analytics. So by data analytics, we want to analyze data and take some decisions out of it. Like it can be of various format, maybe what happened. So from the data, if the problem is kind of descriptive problem, then we will try to understand what happened from after analyzing that data. So it can be maybe historians. So you can see the historians are searching for ancient pieces inside the soil. They're searching for some old stones, and after that they're analyzing that stone to predict something. Yeah, this must be from maybe 200 years ago or 300 years ago. So that is a kind of descriptive kind of problem to predict what happened. Similarly, we can diagnose with why did it happen. So mainly, again, the first thing that is very common, if you go to a doctor, so he will do some kind of diagnostic before giving some medicine. Okay, why did it happen? What should be to explore? The doctor will ask you more questions, 4 to 5 questions at least, to understand why did this happen. Only after that, the doctor will be able to give you some proper solution. Okay, because there may be 2 patients with same symptoms, both are having fever, but the cause of that fever may be different. So without understanding that cause, the doctor cannot give a solution to it. So that is why data has to be analyzed. So that falls in the second category. Now the third is predictive. What will happen? So yeah, based on the past history, maybe analyzing on the previous weather reports, we are having a forecast of what can be the weather tomorrow, or what can be the weather 1 month from now, whether it will rain or not, whether a cyclone is going to come or not. So that is kind of predictive. We are predicting based on past experiences, and based on not only past experiences, based on the data available, different useful data, which can actually give us a right information of whether a cyclone is about to come or not. So that is the third category. And finally, prescriptive. So again, as we were discussing about the diagnostic thing, so when the doctor will actually prescribe you a medicine, what should be done? So once doctor has sufficient information and doctor is able to infer that okay, these are the things which are the cause of the symptoms. So now we can prescribe this medicine. What can be done? Which can be a form of the decision. So this is actually turning large volumes of complex data into actionable information. So it can be of any form. It can be either a structured data stored in some files. It can be kind of signal data or image data. It can be some information, just some useful information for that application which are needed to be known. So data can be any kind of information which are to be inferred, and we have to arrive at some decisions. So that is what we mean by data analytics in a general sense. Now today we will try to do a kind of predictive kind of thing out of these four different categories. So we will try to predict some stock prices. So what we will do, we will try to load the data into MATLAB from an Excel file. So here the data is in a structured format. It is stored in the Excel file, and we will try to plot it and visualize it and observe the trends of how is the stock price increasing with respect to time. And then we will try to come up with a mathematical equation using our apps like the curve fitting app to fit that data, and using that we will try to predict it. So it's a simple problem. Let's see how it can be done. So let me click here and see whether it can be done in MATLAB online. So earlier we have done it in the MATLAB desktop version, but as Professor Simon mentioned that most of you have not installed it, and also I think it will be good to showcase you the online version. So let me try to do that. Yeah. So yeah, so this is the where is the chat window? Let me also, in case you are, so it's just I will show you the things. So in case you are you want to follow, you can also follow it. Otherwise, we will be sharing this with you later. So you can just observe it, and you have the recording also. So that will not be a problem. But this is the place, the link I have posted in the chat window, where you can log in to the MATLAB online with your same login ID, the institute mail ID and password. And you will also have MATLAB Drive. So that is another link. So I will be sharing it later, how you can access Drive. So whatever files are stored inside the drive can be accessed here. So that is the difference. So this has a limitation of 5 GB. Unlike your computer, you can store much more in your computer depending on your hard disk. So that is one thing. And there are few more differences compared to the different apps that are available. So you can see we have a limited number of apps which you can make use of. However, if you are starting with MATLAB, or if the apps that the fields that you're working on, such as math, stats, optimization, or control system, so you can look over it. So you may use some of these apps before actually going to the actual version, or before using the other apps. Okay, if you're new to it, you can get started with MATLAB online as well. But of course, in the desktop version, you will find much more features and many other apps inside each section, as well as you will find some more sections. So there are some limitations here. Now, so this is the live script here, and suppose today we want to predict. We want to predict stock prices. So I'm just writing a title, and maybe going to the next line. And And within this file, let me see. Yeah. So within this file, we have this Excel file, which is a .xl .xlsx. Okay, it can be of multiple formats. Sometimes it is .xls or it is XL. Sorry about that. XLSX. Yeah. So it is basically a Excel file, and I am double clicking on it. Okay. So when I double click on it, I can observe this file, and I can see there are two sheets here. One is giving details of the Amazon stock price. And the other is giving details on the Coca-Cola stock price. So we have only two information. The first information is the date, and the second information is the stock price. Okay, the closing price for that particular day. So this is the information we have as of now. And so what can we do? So we have to load this data here. So a easy way to do is, so when I clicked on this thing, so you see in the toolbar section there is a new command or new tab added, which is known as import. And you can pin or unpin these extra variables also if you want to hide it to make your screen larger. But for the time being, let me just keep it, because here are some options which you can change. You can select the number of rows out here. So if you want to copy from A to B5571, which must be the last entry, 5571. So we are mentioning that thing, and we can mention the name of the thing to be imported, name of the variable to be loaded. We can select the type also. So there are various types. We can directly import a timetable or a kind of column vector. So there are different advantages and features for each of it. So let me choose column vector for the time being. So I will tell you why I chose that. And let me go to this import selection and import it. So here also there are multiple ways. So you must have seen this if you have attended the previous two sessions. So Zafar might have shown you how you can import data and import functions, import live script from any app. So this is just a app which is helping you to import data, right? So let me generate a live script out of here. As soon as I do that, I can see this. This is being imported here. Okay, so let me just close this one. I don't want to see the data, whereas I want to see the code which is used to import that data. So this is the code to import the data. So what I will do is that I will simply copy this, and I will maybe create a new section, and I will just paste it out here in the first part, right? And I'm just changing the view from, it was output on right. I want to see output inline, so that the screen is more visible to you, and I can see output at the bottom, right? So let me just run it now. Let's see. So after running it, I can see the variables are loaded here. It is stored under the name Amazon KO. Also, there are some options related to it, and I am converting the output type to and storing it in this variable. So this data and Amazon closing price. So you must have. So when I was mentioning about importing the data, I told that I am importing it as a column vector, not as a timetable. So the reason is to get these two variables. So if you would have imported a timetable, so then the code would have generated till this, where this read table would be stored in this particular variable. And if you look at this variable, it is a kind of a table format, then you would have to write this couple of lines of code just to access to the variables inside this. So if I go here, you will be able to see two more rows. One is with the name date, another is with the name Amazon closing price. So that is what is done here. So date equals to Amazon dot date, and the closing price equals to Amazon co dot Amazon closing price. Well, this is the table name, and we are connecting it to the appropriate column name. So this comes automatically if we choose as the other format, that is import as column vectors. And then we can clear out the things that we do not require. So we actually do not require this table. Also the options that are generated, the options are nothing but the other informations which are used to generate this data load into the environment. So these are no more required. The only thing that I need is this data which I have already got into two different variables named as date and Amazon closing price. So I'm clearing this variable, so it is clear. And let me move ahead. So next, after loading the data, what can we do? So yeah. So till now, is there any question? Is there any doubt? Just to understand, you can type it in your chat window, or whether you are able to follow or not. You can just give a Y or N. It is pretty clear. Thank you very much. Yes. Okay. Okay. So it is good to hear that. Yeah. Okay. So I feel it is pretty clear. So what should we do next? We have loaded the data. So we have loaded the data and we want to predict the stock price. This is our ultimate problem. So what should we do next? Any comment? What do you think? I have the data with me. I've loaded it in the MATLAB environment. So what should be my next step? Okay, I see bit difficult to follow. Don't worry, I will try to go slow, and you can watch the recording too in case you want to revisit. Another comment I see, plot the graph line. Oh, thank you. Yeah, very truly said. We have to plot it. So we have imported the data. The second thing is to plot the raw data. Yeah, right. So this is the perfect answer. We need to plot the data. So we can plot it in multiple ways. So let me just create a section, another section, and maybe write plot data. So let's plot it, and we can change these things to heading 1, heading 2, heading 3 based on your whichever looks good. So I've chose heading 2. And so that is this plot tab, which has multiple. So in MATLAB Online, it depends on the internet connection. It is running on the browser. So I think because of the internet connection, because we are having this WebEx meeting as well as other tabs are also opened up. It is taking some time. But if I would have done this in the installed software, it would have been a bit faster. So if you see this loading time, so whenever you are, this is one thing you should and also notice. So whenever you are working with MATLAB Online in the browser, then try to close other applications which are using internet. Okay, then you can do it at a much faster pace. Even when you are doing those on ramps, MATLAB on ramp or other on ramps, which we will share with you, you should close other applications which is using Windows. So let me try to do something else then. It is not opening. What can I do? I can go to this task section. So if you have attended the earlier section, I have briefly gone over this section that we can use this powerful functionalities known as live tasks inside live scripts. So the most basic one is to plot under this data and visualization category. So let me just choose it. And so there are multiple ways to plot. If you know the command, it is just the plot command. You have to write plot and you have to write the x comma y variable names, which is this. So that you can do. But this is an alternate way. Let me just try it out. And here you can find the different categories, how you can what kind of plot you want to plot. So this is a kind of as I see in the chat, plot the graph line. So it should fall under this line plot category. So if I choose this, then it will be filtered out based on this thing. And you can choose maybe the simple XY plot. So I want a simple XY plot. And I can choose the x-axis as the date. And I can choose the y-axis as the Amazon closing price. Right. And that's it. So as soon as I choose, it is automatically running because it is selected here. The auto run is enabled. And I can see the plot here. So this is how the stock price looks. So from the year 2000 to 2000, something around 2018 or 19. So I didn't look into the array earlier, but just verify it. Is the date. So it is from 1997. Five five 70. Somewhere around 2018. 2019 is also there. Yeah, so somewhere around 2019 is the last data. If you precise, to be very precise, 5th July 2019 is the last data. It is plotted according with the stock prices. So now we have the saving the plot is automatic or need to save separately. Okay, that's a good question. So the plot is in the output, so that is automatic. So if you want to save this, so the reason to write this is that you can share it as a PDF later with the students or with the groups with whom you are working with. So you can save it as a PDF. Then this plot will also be saved in that same PDF. But in case you want to save this as a different figure file, MATLAB figure file to be used later, then you have to save it manually either with a command, which is a very save plot command, or you can just open up the plot. It will open up in a new figure window, and you can go to save as, and you can save it as a fig file so that you can reopen the figure again if you want to make some changes in terms of label or color or legend or those things. Or you can choose other any other format. There are multiple formats from EPS to JPG, PNG, or TIFF as the image file. So this is what you have to do. These are the two ways you can do this. So thank you for asking. I hope this answers your query. Thank you. Okay. So after we have plotted it, next what can we do? What do you think? Now we have plotted it. From the plot we have all the necessary information that was stored in the Excel file. So we have this relation. What can we do next? Predict future price. Okay, yeah, that is our aim of the problem. So that certainly we have to do. Data pre-processing, we can print it. Okay, so that is a very relevant thing in terms of those applications related to data analytics. Pre-processing a very vital thing in case we want to remove some noises and those stuff. Generate equation for prediction data. Yeah, thank you, sir. We will try to do that. Next. Yes, so that is the correct answer. So because we want to predict it, so we want some mathematical equation which can map to this relation. Which can map to this trend of data, right? So for that we need to predict some kind of equation. So how we can do that? So let me just create another section, maybe section break, and let me write that thing, generate equation for the trends. Okay, we want to generate an equation, a mathematical equation for the trends observed above. So you can name it anyways. I'm just naming very whatever means we want to do next based on that, and I can create start to write some code as well. But again, we have the facility of apps here, so we have seen how to use this curve fitting app earlier to fit a sinusoidal wave in the first week. So let us reuse this app once more just to fit something else instead of just a sine wave. Maybe we can load this data and see how it can be. So in the x-axis, we have to plot the I don't see any x-axis right here. Okay. So what is the reason here? So usually I wanted to see a x-axis. I can see only a y-axis. If I choose a y-axis, I will be able to see the trend, but I don't have the x values. So let me just close it for the time being. Or yeah, I'm not opening it. So there is a reason behind it, because here the x-axis is in the form of date. If you notice, we have seen it earlier. It is in the form of date, right? So we have to map this date to some kind of numbers, right? Only then we will get that variable. So this is a kind of date time, as you see in the class under here. And whereas the y-axis is in a kind of double format stored in a kind of column vector. Okay. So we have to convert this to also a column vector. So for that, we need to write a line of code. So let me just do that. So maybe let me write date to num. So I'm just giving a variable name here, and there is a function known as date to num. So as soon as I start typing this function, it is also giving me recommendation. So this is the name of the function, so that I do not use the wrong function. And here it is written convert date and time to serial date number. So I can choose this function, and I can probably mention the date vector which was available here, and I can run this section. That's it. So as soon as I run this section, there is another variable date name. Now you see these two are in the same double format in the form of column vectors. And if I show you how it has converted it, it has converted it to some values. Okay, some value which is actually mapping the date. Okay, so now if I go to that app section and open this curve fitting app, then I will be able to see both the variables because it is there in the workspace. And I can choose the date to num versus the Amazon closing price. And as soon as I choose it, I can see the relation between X and Y here. And here are many options which I can choose of. Maybe Fourier series can be used to represent any kind of signal. Let me just try with it. We increase the number of terms to 2. So with 2 number of terms, it is giving us kind of fitting with 3 number of terms. Yeah. So you see the equation is getting modified here. This is the equation consisting of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms, 2 cosine, 2 sine terms. And with this equation, these are the coefficient which is calculated by the. Okay, then we are getting this fitted weather. Otherwise, you can also choose a maybe X. Sorry about that. You can choose an exponential function because you can see it looks like an exponential function only, and you will get a smaller equation, just an exponential equation with 2 coefficients a and b, which is calculated here, and x is the independent variable, the x-axis, right? So once this is done, you can generate code out of it. Okay, so this is the feature, and let me save curve fitting app. So let me just minimize it for the time. If we, in case we require it again, by minimizing it again. So this is the function that is generated, and I don't need to see this thing. And let me just save this function with the same name and see where it is saved. So if I save this function with the same name, so it will get saved in the same folder, the current folder. So now I have this function which was generated, and it is saved in the current folder, right? Now how to use this function? So has anyone used this function feature in MATLAB till now? So just a y and n again, just to understand. So have you ever used any kind of function, not just this function? I see no. Okay. I see two no's. If you have used, you can type y. Yes, because it is a very common feature actually. If you haven't used till now, but it is nothing big deal. It's just a one-line thing, just to simplify your code. Oh yeah, thank you. I see one Y here. Yes, functions ask for input from the user and then perform calculation based on the equation. Yeah, absolutely right. Thank you, sir. So that is why we use functions. So in computer science, so those who are in from the computer science department, so they have chapters related to function, whether it's any coding language. So they, as sir mentioned, so it's very right that they're asking input. So this is the function name. These are the input arguments, and this is the output. And this is the function definition. So it has a start point. You can just minimize the function here to close it. So usually the function also uses an end statement at the end, but here I don't see it somehow. But since it is the auto-generated one, you need not worry about that. This function should work absolutely fine. But if you are writing a function, mostly you also write an end statement at the end. Okay, just to complete the function. Now I just copy this thing, right? And where was I? Yeah, I was here. So I was here. So we have generated this the equation not yet, and we write another line of code where we are sending this value and this value here using this function, and we are loading it in this output variable, and then they just run it. I'm just calling this function. So this one line of code is actually executing 36 line of code, out of which there are multiple comments also to let you know what are the input parameters and what is the output variables that you will be getting out of this function. The code are written in the second section. So this is the input, the data, x-axis date, the y-axis stock closing price, and these are the output data like the fit result. It is a object and the goodness of fit, a structure variable with some information related to that. So that is been done with this one single line, and you can see the result out here. Okay, so this is the fit result and the goodness of fit. These are the parameters out here. So usually I would expect these to also appear in the workspace, though I don't see it because this is also a kind of output variable. However, you can see the content here in the output itself. So that is there. So you know these are the different parameters involved, and this is the equation of the function a exponential b dot x, which we already saw in the thing, and it is generated out of it. Now we have actually made an equation. We have used the curve fitting app to generate an equation, which is this red line actually. Okay, and we have this equation with us. Now we can do the next step. Relying in on this equation, we can try to predict some value. Okay. So let me just create another section brick and maybe site predict, which is the ultimate task here. Choosing heading 2, using code, and suppose we can do prediction in multiple ways. Like here, what I did, I considered the entire data that we had. So instead of that, if we would have considered a portion of that data, maybe 80%, then we could have predicted on the remaining version, just to see how good this curve is able to predict the actual value. So, but we didn't do that. We considered here. Anyways, there is other things also which you can do, like you can predict based on today's date as well. So, how to do that? Let me just show you. Suppose I want to store today's date. So there is a date time, yeah, array that represents point in time. Okay, and I have to provide argument to it, because these are all functions, inbuilt functions. And let me just run it. So today is 13th July, and this is the time, though this is not with respect to Indian time, but maybe this is some other time zone, but that is generated. And we want to predict the stock price based on this today. Then what should we do? We have this data, today's date. Then what should be the next step? So it is the final section we actually want to predict. So what should we write here now? So any comments, any question? What is your thought? So just to reiterate what we want to do. So we want to predict the stock price for today, and today state is stored in this variable. Okay, then what can we do next? I see a comment, stock price. I don't know what do you mean by that, but okay. Apply on the model that we created. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, thank you for answering that. So we have to apply this in the model. So the reason we created this model is that we created the equation basically, so that we can use it for other purposes. So we have to apply it. So I'm just writing it fit result, and I am mentioning this date today, and today's price. Okay, so I've written this line, today's price. Fit result is this function which we have already generated earlier, and I'm sending this as the input argument. And if you want to look into this function, fit result, so it is here, shows this function, which will take a variable x. This is x. Now, will this line, is this line okay? Means, what do you think? The line that I've written, so will this be sufficient, or do we have to do something more? So if it's okay, you can type a yes if you think it's okay, or if you think it is not okay, it may throw up an error, or there are some more things to be done. Okay, I am once again not audible. So thank you for. Okay, am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I just saw in the chat window that someone is not able to hear me. So, okay. Thank you for telling that. I also see some comments like, no, this is not. I see yes, audible, sir. Yes, maybe plus minus values can be mentioned like tolerance. Okay, so that is, I think, that is a good point, but I think when it's respect to actual prediction of that thing, that is another thing. But I just wanted to check with the syntax whether the syntax is okay or not. So let me run it anyways. So I got a mixed response just to see what. So it gave me an error, right? And the error is that using this cannot evaluate the CFIT model. So fit result is the CFIT model. If you realize here is of type CFIT for some reason. So what can be the reason? So the basic reason, if you go to the earlier part of the program, then you must have seen before this section. Close it. Yeah. So here we use this feature date num to convert the date to a number variable, right? Before actually going to the curve fitting tool. So we have to use that thing once again because this is stored in the kind of date format. So maybe we can write here date today equal to date num. So you can choose any other variable also if you wish. You can use the same variable in case you do not want to you want to overwrite it over it. So let me just choose another variable with the name 2 and run this. Yeah. So now it works. So this was the thing missing. So we have to convert the actual date, which is 13th July 2021, to a kind of number which was actually used in this x-axis. That mapping has to be done. Then if we send it to the CFIT function, it will give us the y result or the predicted result. So this is how you can do it, make a curve fitting kind of app. And once this is done, you can, let me just quickly show that thing, though I've mentioned it earlier, but I'm in the live editor to save, export to PDF, or should I save as PDF? I think export to PDF will do. So here the PDF file is created and that's it. So you can maybe if you are giving assignments to your students, so this is just an example out here. So if you are giving any kind of assignments which needs any kind of computation, even if it is not data related, then you may put some blank entries in between and write the steps as the headers. And the students may do those assignments, submit it as a PDF file to you, or submit the live script as well, the MATLAB file, in case you want to run it and check it. So both ways it is possible. It is very easy to do it on the browser itself without using pen and paper or scanning it using your mobile phone, sending loads of data. This file is taking a very less space also in terms of the hard disk space. So this is a very useful feature. So you have predicted it. Now let me come back to the slides where we were. Yeah. So the key takeaways here is that we just went through a live script and we saw that it is very easy to run. We can reproduce the results using the same live script or functions. And we have seen this curve fitting example to understand the behavior of data. So these to analyze data basically, and we have used these apps. So using apps is an interactive way which can do most of the functionality, and we can very easily visualize it. These are the things we have done. And now I would like to answer you a question. A, B, C, D. Any of those you have to type. So would you rely on this curve fitting app to estimate stock prices for investment? So what do you think? Answer A, B, C, and D. So either it is yes, definitely, no, it seems risky, or you would prefer something else, some other reliable method to predict stock prices, or either you are not interested. So it is totally fine. If you are not interested in investing in stock market, then you can also answer D to it. But the idea here is to what we did right now. So we tried to predict a model using this curve fitting app. So what is your option? There is no correct answer here, correct or wrong. It's just an opinion. So please, if you can type it in the chat window. I don't see any comments till now. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible. I can
Okay.
able to see some answers.
Okay. Oh, so sorry. Thank you for telling that. Yeah. So my cursor was slightly moved upwards. Let me check the answer. Yes, yes. I see B. I see D. I see 1A, B. I see a mixed approach. Okay, totally fine. Okay, so there are all kind of answers I saw, A, B, C, D. So there are different opinions. So yeah. So let us go to the next slide to see another thing. So this is the quote by Sir John Templeton. The four most dangerous words in investing are this time it's different. So as you have heard of, or recently in that web series also, you have seen that the 1992 scam where the ACC stock price suddenly increased from 200 to 9,000. So there are many influencing factors why a stock price will increase suddenly or when will it fall down. We do not have that control. Okay. So with the curve fitting app, we can fit some mathematical model based on the data, past data. But we can never predict or give a sure shot answer to that. So I would prefer those who have answered B or C. So yeah, I would prefer with them. So it is risky. So you should prefer some other reliable method to predict stock prices, because it is the thing itself is not reliable. It is a very fuzzy kind of. Right. Now, with the interest of time, I would like to see whether I should go with this example or whether I should cover the app designer. Let me see. So in case, let me just otherwise this can be covered in the next one also with similar. Let me quickly show you the third demo. As I tried to show you how to use app designer earlier. Okay. If I can show you simple thing related to this. Oh, I clicked on exit. Sorry. Anyways, I can open it again. Or will it be faster if I show it to you using the desktop version? Let's see it. Let it open. Yeah. So it is in, and I'm going to demo 3. Okay. So I want to I showed. Okay, I am just showing you. So right, so this is a very simple app that I created. Okay, I created using the app designer, and let me just show you to create this. So what was the thing that I did? So for that, I should have started. Let me see. So with the interest of time, let me just tell you. So in this component library browser, we have multiple things, right? So for example, we have this panel. So I can just add a panel here, and I have this table. I can add a table out here, right? I can resize them. I can fit it inside the panel, and I have this button. So I'm just including a button out here, right? And I can rename them. Suppose I'm writing this name read one, and maybe here you can see there are two columns. So I can just edit it in this edit section to define how many columns we need, and it will get edited in the same manner. And similarly, you can use these windows to color it out and label different things, right? So this is what you can do. So once this is created, then the thing is that why are you making this app? So the purpose for this app was to read data, nothing else. So there is one button. I will click on read data, and it should read the data from the Excel file, and it should load here in this table, right? So for that, since I want some kind of functionality when I click on read data, so I have to right click on this read data thing, and I have to call a callback, a kind of callback function. Okay, and when I click on this callback function, and I will go to the code view. So this is the design view where you are making the design, and we have a code view where you have to write the code for that. So where we see there are 106 lines of code to generate this app. Okay, so I'm just deleting this and not spending more time here just to color this thing. But this is a very easy thing, like the same way you draw pictures in paint, nothing more than that. And once this is created, I am going to the callback function, right? So inside this 87 lines of code, because I deleted that one, that is not included. Whatever code is written in the gray shaded area, so it is done by the app itself. So you do not have to worry about that. So they have written the code based on the design you have made. Okay, that is that. And inside this callback function, the functionality to read data, you have to write your code. And you have to write the code what you want to do actually. So here you want to read a table. So it is the same Excel file that we studied earlier based on Amazon Excel. And this is the sheet name. And the sheet name was is the sheet type, and the name is Amazon. So this is the format to read table. So if you look into the syntax, you will find the same format, and it is stored here. So the table is stored in one variable, right? Now this table has to be stored in has to be displayed here. So what is the name of this table? So you can find this under this component browser. So if this is the application UI figure, under it you can find the panel name, and this is located. The table is inside the panel. So we have two components: a table and a read button. That's it. We have a table and a read button. So read button is actually the function name, because after we press that button, this function will execute. However, this table app.ui table is to be used to store that table. That is why you can just write app.ui table, or there are other ways also. You can just right click here and maybe put the cursor somewhere here and insert the command here in the cursor window. And just to complete the thing what you want to do, so we want to store the data. It will automatically appear after you write the first letter. So you can come to this variable without much trouble and store the created variable earlier. So this is 2 lines of code. So for creating this entire app, your effort is to write 2 lines of simple code and to design the app based on the things that you want to achieve. Once this is done, you can run the app. So let me run it and see where it goes. So yeah, so after I run the app opens up in another window. And let me just click on read data. And if I maximize this window, I can see it is reading the Excel file. So because of this multiple tabs opened up altogether, it is taking some time. Otherwise, so that is the reason. So if you have your desktop, if you have if you can install it in your MATLAB, it will be the first preference. But if you cannot, you can also do multiple things that today I have only done using MATLAB online. I have not used the MATLAB desktop at all. So you can see there are multiple things that you can do to get started itself. It is not that you cannot do much with MATLAB online. Definitely you can. But it depends on the internet speed, and you have to be a bit cautious that other programs are not open. So this is how you can read the data, and similarly you can do multiple things and create your own apps. And finally, you can store them. Once you have created it, you can. What happened? Okay, that was another window. Okay, so yeah, you can store it in. You can save it and export it. You can store it inside this apps variable also. So that can be also done. Okay. Now let me go to the other thing. So especially if you're interested to make some apps, so you should be. I would request you to think what you want to create based on your subjects that you are studying or you are teaching, and you can try to make some easy, simple apps which may be useful for studying those concepts or visualize those things. Similar, just a step ahead of visualizing it only using plots, just to create your own apps. For more, you can visit this link. So these links are stored in the slides. So, and now, so you already have access to campus-wide license, so you can make use of multiple things. And in case you are not installed yet or facing technical issues, you can contact to the support team, or you can tell us. We can redirect it to the support team, and they can at least get you started with the installation issue. Otherwise, if you have started, you can make use of MATLAB online and also MATLAB mobile and other things. So here today we saw about MATLAB mobile. Also, Simulink online is also there. Also, you will face some internet-related lag issues here also compared to the Simulink version that you use in your desktop. So that is a common thing. But you can also get started using Simulink online. And this is the MATLAB drive which stores the files. Okay, and I wanted to do this kind of thing, but we can do it a bit later also, or we can, yeah, we can do it. So I'm just posting a link here. Okay, I'm posting a link in the chat window, and what I want you to do is that, so if you go to this MATLAB Academy page, so here if you have started using MATLAB on-ramp, so you go beside this view and share certificate, and you can click on this first link. So there are 2 links if you notice. The second one is progress report. So do not click on the second one. Click on the first link, and you will, if you click here, you will get that link. You have to just copy that link and you have to paste it in that feedback form, the form that I have sent you. Then probably I will show you how we can use apps to visualize them as well at a later stage, but you can do it for now. And do not worry if you are not able to complete it fully. Means if you are already using MATLAB, you may have completed some portion of it. It's perfectly fine. But if you are new to MATLAB, then I would recommend you to go through the entire thing so that you learn about all the basic things that you need to know before getting started with the other work. Okay. So whatever you have done, you can just simply share this link and paste it here. Okay, so I see form shows no permission. Okay, thanks for mentioning that. Let me see. So is everybody able to access this form or it is not accessible? No. Okay, okay. Thank you for telling that. Let me check for 1 minute. Can be done. Open in the browser. Okay, yeah. Thank you for mentioning that. I am just copying another link. I'm pasting another link. I'm pasting a new link. This new link should work. This new link should work. And this new link should work. Okay, thank you. So the new link should work. And I'm just also showing you how you can go to the MATLAB Academy in case you are not able to go there. So this is the MATLAB Academy website. So here you have to just click here, 1 click, 2 click, third you can copy it by clicking here. You can go here, copy paste, Control V and submit it. That's it. So you can do it here quickly. Maybe I will wait. It's already 4:30. No, maybe you can. I will wait for a couple of minutes. It's just a one line form. So if you are able to access this, you can just straight away do this. And once you are done, you can just type done. I see one response also done. Then it will help me to understand you are able to do it. Most of you are able to do it. Or if you are facing issue, you can also tell the issue in the chat window. I will try to address it. I see a couple of done still now. Thank you. Thank you very much. What is the link for certificate? Oh, yeah, that's a very nice question. So what is this link for certificate? Yeah. So this link is your link for certificate. So basically you can, if you open up this link here in the browser, you will find a certificate link, which has images and text in it. So so how you can analyze images or text? So that is also a thing that we will be covering in the next topic as well. So this is a certificate link. That's it, which you can share also in multiple places. But yeah, so thanks for asking that. Oh, whenever I download the installer, I get an error file running. I would ask you to please write a mail to us or the support team if you have the info support mail ID. Do we have? Okay, yeah. We will, or if you can write the mail to us also, we will forward it to the support team. They will help you in setting up the installation. Okay, I see you have, most of you have writing submitted. Sir, I want the link for the, sir, okay. So I see a question, I want the link for the certificate. So this is the MATLAB Academy website. So you have to just go here and log in with your credentials. Then inside the courses, so till now, the first week activity was MATLAB on-ramp. So besides this, you will click here, and under the course certificate section, you have to click here. Then you will get this link, which you can copy here. So this is the way you can copy the link. So in case you are not able to visit this, I'm just reposting the MATLAB Academy site, and that way you can do it. And you can probably, yeah, so probably you can do it, and the link is with you. You can do it if you are struggling now due to some logging issue. You can do it after the session also. It will take just a couple of minutes. So let me just go ahead with the presentation and show you a brief of MATLAB Mobile as well, as Professor Simon mentioned. So if you can install it in your mobile phone, Android or iOS phone, if you have any. So it supports both Android as well as iOS. And after installing, you see you will be able to log data, real data. So based on the sensors that are available in your phone, and you can actually store that data into MATLAB Drive. So today we saw MATLAB Online and MATLAB Drive. So that is the same drive. So the data will get logged into MATLAB Drive, and you can use that data. You can to visualize the way we visualize data. This time you can visualize real data. Okay, that is stored from the sensor, and you can do, as someone mentioned, pre-processing and those things. You can do lots of exciting things with that. You can pre-process them and try to come up with some information from it. So this is a great way to use MATLAB mobiles also for your courses, in terms of giving them small mini projects. The students can do some projects using it, because this is the most common hardware which you do not have to purchase separately. Okay, common hardware which is your mobile phone, which has inbuilt sensors. So this is the advantage of living in today's date, that almost everyone will have a smartphone with these capabilities. So that is the advantage. Also, the student can use in their project work. Okay, so we covered this slide script and all this, how we can convert it to a PDF. And for this week, we would also, so for those of you who have already started or done your MATLAB on-ramp to some extent, you can also start with this signal processing on-ramp, followed by image processing on-ramp, or whichever is more applicable to your domain. Okay, I am not telling it is a mandatory thing to do it completely 100%. You have to complete and show your certificate. I'm not telling that, but since these are a type of data, okay, a signal is a type of data, image is also another type of data, and if you are dealing with such images for in your courses, then it is a good place to learn some basic fundamentals things to use these kind of things with the computational tool. So you can start with either of them. Also, in the second class in Friday, which will be taken by most probably Suraj, who is my colleague. So he will be discussing some of the concepts out here. So you can get started from now also. And before the next week, I would expect that you can go through some of them, some portions from both of them, if not completely. If you can do completely both of them, that's amazing. So that for that you have to be dedicate some 2 hours of fully concentrated time to complete it, or you can complete it in multiple iterations as well. But if you, for getting you started will be the main thing. Oh yeah, so thank you. So the link is mentioned in this slide, but thank you for asking it. Let me just copy it straight away in the chat window. Sometimes it is better. You can also just, I'm just typing out the link. So these are all inside the same MATLAB Academy site. So if you just browse it, you will get these sublinks. Though I have just posted the link again. Okay, I see another comment not audible. So again, is there any issue again with respect to audio?
No, sir, it is audible only. Maybe for them, some technical issue may be there.
Okay, sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So I've copied this link and yeah, so these are, so you must be already knowing since we have covered 2 sessions in the previous week. So more than 4 million students are using MATLAB worldwide. So it is good that you can leverage most out of it. Try to use it in the form of hands-on learning, and it will give you good job opportunities to the students, to the new students are joining the institute. And also it is a very useful tool in terms of research productivity. There are so many number of Google Scholar citations referencing MATLAB. Okay, and lastly, I just want to share today's feedback form. Let me just see whether I can open it. I don't know why this slide. Yeah, either you can scan it using here, or let me just post it right away in the chat window. Yeah. So I have posted today's feedback form, the chat window. This you can also fill it, and we will be continuing with this session on Friday, focusing on signals and images. You can just I've tried to make this form shorter compared to the previous one, since most of the things are redundant. Here the only question is unique is the 8th one. So whether you are currently working with data in any of your courses, theory or lab, or research work, you can mention yes or no, and based on that you can mention which are the courses where you are requiring these kind of things, and you can give your other comments and suggestions. And this is just to track, just to understand that whether you are able to complete this MATLAB on them or whether you have started. So we have not mentioned any strict thing like you have to complete 100%. So that may not be a very useful thing also. But if you have started and if you have completed certain portions and you are feeling confident to use the tool, that is good enough. That is our main intention. So you should be confident enough to use it for your courses, for your subjects, for your research work, for your activities. So that is the main thing. So you can just mention it. We can understand your progress based on the earlier on run. And this week you can, based on your time, you can start with the other 2 on runs for week 2. So this is it from our side. So there is nothing more that I want to share today. So Professor Simon, if there are any
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anand sir, for a very good session on data processing and visualization, and also you helped us to create app in MATLAB. And for a few points I would like to mention for the next sections. Can you concentrate on a research problem on ECE EEE department where the mathematics concepts are used? I hope that will be very helpful for researchers who are doing PhD in our university. Maybe I'll expect, maybe the audience also will expect some research problems where this MATLAB tools can be used to do some standard research problems on multiple different departments. You have any answers, sir? Focusing on the research problems.
Thank you for your mentioning that. So yeah, so this session we have how many participants today? So yeah, we will be focusing on a mixed. I've noted your comments, so we will be planning our sessions accordingly so that the mathematics for the week 3, where we will be covering some mathematics related demo. It can be related to some application for some departments, as you mentioned here. And yeah, so that can be done. We will look into it. And on a separate note, so if you are already, so what our expectation is from these set of sessions is that faculty who are already using MATLAB in their courses get more motivated, and they can start incorporating these things, come up with some ideas, making use of this live script or other feature in their courses. So it may be an incremental step also, but with those incremental steps only, the course structure will be refined, which is anyways refined in every 6 months, I guess. So this will be a good component to include in any of your courses. So any of the faculty, like we also have office hours. So the concept of office hours is that if you can mail us with the specific things, how, for which course you are trying to implement what, we will try to suggest, give you good suggestions and try to map you towards that thing so that you can quickly use that. So I hope that answers. And in a general note, thank you for telling that, Professor Simon. We will try to put some examples which has mathematics as well as some applications to some engineering or science domains.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I also request the research scholars, you can also send a message to Mr. Anand so that he can cover up your research area. I once again thank Mr. Anand and the participant for attending this program. I also thank the management for giving us this opportunity to enhance our knowledge in MATLAB. Thank you once again. If there is any question, you can post it in the chat box. They will be answering your question through email. You can also mention your email. They will reply to your email. Anand sir, do you have anything to share?
Yeah, so the mail ID is in the first slide. So let me just, so these are the mail IDs. You can write a mail to us. Also, I see one comment here that in the self-paced courses like computational mathematics, data science, core MATLAB. So in the, okay, good you asked this. So I hope this should not be the case, but just to clarify, inside MATLAB Academy, so let me just reiterate the question for everyone. So the question that Saravanan sir asked me is that here you see these on-ramp courses. So the on-ramp courses are smaller version 2-hour courses, which anyone can do, even without a MathWorks license. However, there are some core courses like MATLAB fundamentals or some related to data science. These are very good courses related to mathematics. So the thing is that I think you are not able to have access here, but that should not be the case. If you are using your institute mail ID, you should have access to all the courses inside this MATLAB Academy portion. So in case you're not able to do that, you can drop in a mail to us. We will try to respond to you. And this is for everyone. So we are giving certain assignments, but you may look into the other courses, whichever is more suitable for your subjects, so that you can quickly implement it in your courses or work. You can start doing those courses as well without waiting for this entire thing to complete. So that is another thing. So this is a good starting page for self-paced. Okay,
Anand sir. Anand sir, I have one query. I received a mail from your team. They have sent some links and scripts for partial differential equations. Those partial differential equations are solvable by numerical method, right? But we are looking for analytical solution for partial differential equations. So whether we have a MATLAB coding for solving partial differential equation analytically. So numerical solutions are there, and MATLAB's tools are available for numerical solutions. If we have a boundary conditions, we can able to visualize the graph. But I'm asking for like as we do it for ordinary differential equation, we use dsolve function to solve the ordinary differential equations. Don't we have any MATLAB code for solving finding the analytical solution of PDE? This I put personally just to maybe we as a maths faculty will expect from you on the 3rd week of training.
Thank you. Thank you very much for raising this question. So yeah, we will definitely look into this. So not only numerical, we will try to incorporate some analytical solution examples for the 3rd week. Thank you for mentioning this.
Yes, sir. Please kindly go through our syllabus because our syllabus, you'll see, a lot of analytical solution of PDE is required, and especially on application also. We don't require for numerical solution. Numerical solution we require only the next semester. But analytical solution for string and plate rod problems, kindly take note on that. And I hope the session will be very useful for both mathematics as well as engineering faculty members and researchers.
Yes, definitely. Mathematics is the core subject, so I would like everyone to attend it. It
Yeah.
will be helpful for everyone. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I
Thank
thank
you,
the other
then,
members.
Let me then stop sharing.
Yes, sir. Faculty, researchers and faculty members can leave.